What's up everybody, and welcome to the channel. Today we're looking at the 992 Porsche 911 Carrera. This is the base model of 911. We're gonna take a full look at this inside now and see what it's all about. Really cool door handles, as you can see, flush mounted. We can pop that. So let's go ahead and see what is going to power this car. Unfortunately, you're actually not going to see what is powering this car. The only thing that opens up is this little vent where you can see two fans and then two things to fill up. However, underneath this area in the car, you have a 3-liter twin turbocharged flat 6 motor pumping out 379 horsepower with 330 pound-feet of torque, sending all the power to the rear wheels with an 8-speed dual clutch transmission. Now if we move on to the exterior styling, the 992 is a little bit more edgy looking than previous generations, so I like what they've done. Obviously the 911 in general hasn't exactly changed in leaps and bounds for every generation, but it is really sharp. I love the sharp lines you're going to see on the trunk lid leading towards the windshield. Very cool design. The quad LED design for the headlights is super cool. You can see the beam right in the center as well. Nice round headlight, which is pretty traditional, and they're sitting up high on the fenders. You get an LED DRL down below, which looks pretty nice, and a good opening to allow some cooling into the radiator. All this yellow for the front splitter looks pretty cool. A little odd, there's no air vent right here. This is literally just a piece of plastic, so all the air goes into here or around the car. This is not functional or anything like that. But pretty good looking front end design. I like the dark design for these as well. Then you get a nice set of silver wheels. Again, this is a base model car, so it's not exactly crazy loaded. However, the wheels still look good with those calipers. We get the fuel filler right on this side, as well as body colored along the mirrors, and then these flush mounted door handles. When you unlock them, they'll pop out, which is a really cool design. All black around the windows, that traditional look. I mean, this looks like a 911. Very good looking car in racing yellow. And then as we get towards the rear, you can see these vents and everything. Third brake light is a nicely designed way to do that. And then the spoiler can go up and down as well. Then the new taillights I love. They're smoked out, really dark housing, and then you get a red LED piece connecting them, along with Porsche 911 written out in the center. You can see all of your parking sensors down below, a cool vent, some reflectors, and a really cool design for the dual exhaust. So overall, I mean, this is a great looking car. I do like the updates to it. As we make our way inside, if I just go ahead and hit the unlock button, I love how these will pop out, which is a really cool design. And then taking a look, we have a black leather interior. There is a lot of fake leather and plastic on it, so you only get leather on the armrests really. Some piano black down here, nice grab handle. The release handle is pretty cool as well. And then moving inside, we get aluminum for the door sill, that release button for the back, as well as your front trunk. Some power controls on the seat. However, it does have a manual lever to slide it forwards and back. And then you can see the nice smooth black leather with perforated leather. Pretty nice looking seats. I like the design. They're very simple and subtle. And then on this left side, this is the ignition, which is traditional for Porsches, having it on the left side. That way, in a race, you can easily, like back in the day, hop in it and pretty much start it up as you're hopping in the car. Cool design that they've always done. Now that we're in the car, let's fire it up. So everything roars to life. You got all sorts of new electronic screens in here. We can just close out of some of these. And then if we take a look at these screens now, you have a back button as well. You can toggle left and right. And from here, you can scroll up and down and see all sorts of different vitals that come up on the right side. I love getting that navigation screen as well, and then a few more. And then just toggling over, you can see a few things that will pop up on this left screen now. And then one of my favorite things is the fact that we have an analog tack right in the center, keeping it old school, which is really cool to see. A nice set of paddle shifters, some Bluetooth controls, and then a shortcut button that you can configure in the car. And then on this left side, we have the turn signal stock and cruise control, all of your windshield wiper controls, some headlight controls as well. Pretty simple design on the dash. Again, just some plastic material. This is a pretty cool 3-dimensional look. And then if we go ahead and exit out of that, we have our home screen that you can customize. We have the navigation screen on here as well. All of your media integration, phone integration in car. And from here, you can adjust your chassis, how you want your suspension to be set up, the exhaust valve, your actual drive mode, which opens up the exhaust valve. You also have climate controls that will come up, really simple to use, different apps, all of your safety settings, which really is just the parking sensors it seems, audio control devices, and then settings. So pretty cool the way it's laid out. And not only can you use touchscreen, you have this down here, which you can configure. You can go into different items. You have a back button, so it's pretty cool. You don't always have to use touchscreen. And then underneath that, we have toggles for your drive modes, which is a great feature to see. Suspension, traction control, some air vents down below that, volume control with a few more climate controls now. We have the toggle in the center for fan speed, dual zone temperature as well. So I like how simple it is. This car is just so simple and yet so nice. The new shifter looks pretty cool. Pushing it forward into reverse, we get the backup camera and sensors. All the way back is drive, and then we have the button. You can just tap for P, and then we have manual mode. And then behind that, there's some piano black, heated seats, and a cup holder, and a button on this right side to open that up. And it's a decent size for at least a phone or two. I have a normal size glove box, and just a pretty nice interior overall. I love the yellow along the seat belts. Get some dome lights. Very nice car. So from here, the back seats, that is an interesting topic. So this is a 2+2. So they're not really designed for people to sit in. Maybe a little child or something could fit back here. Me at 5'11", this is a joke, quite honestly. So sitting back here, I can barely get my feet under the seat. And then this seat, there's no way to actually put this back. My knees just cannot bend that way. However, the cool thing is you can pull these and put this down, and you have a lot of storage space. So you have this huge shelf behind the seats, as you can see. And then with this down, you have even more storage to make this very practical, and there's space under here as well. So it's a pretty practical car. If you need maybe a person in the back in a pinch, it could work. However, this is really just a good area for storage. From here, we'll pull that lever and now try to climb out, which isn't the most graceful thing in a 6-figure performance car. But now that I'm out, we do have a button on the key fob too. We can find the latch, open this up, and honestly, this is a really good frunk. You have a lot of storage space in here. You can fit some duffel bags, some luggage. Honestly, this is a practical car. So with all that said, let's go for a spin. All right, so we are setting off now in the Porsche 911. For being a base model car, technically, with the basic power plant that this car offers, this thing is quick. It's peppy. The turbo engine packs a nice punch, and when you're sitting in this, you just feel like you are shrunken around. The car is just wrapping around you so nicely. The handling is insane. The steering, I mean, you just don't get better than this. It is so pinpointy and fun to drive. I love that aspect. And the visibility is great. You have a huge windshield. You can even see the fenders, which is pretty cool. Good view out the back, and over your shoulders, you have no blind spots. This is an exotic sports car where it is insanely practical to be in. It is a lot of fun to drive. In sport mode, the exhaust sounds good. The suspension, we're tightened up. It is so easy to take turns quick in this car. It just responds and does what you want. The 8-speed transmission is so responsive with these paddle shifters. It is a really, really good blend. It sounds pretty good too. I just like how responsive and comfortable and nice this car is. Such good power delivery from that motor. This thing is really nice. Now, if we tone it all down, normal mode, I like how we can do that with the toggles or touchscreen, so you don't always have to be on this car page. I can easily bump everything up or bump everything down. So I think that's a really good touch, the way Porsche did that. But if we go back into automatic, normal everything, the car tones down to where it's just a comfortable luxury car. I can see why people are gonna buy these. I mean, this is a daily, you could drive this all day long and just not get tired. I'm so comfortable just driving this car. It's a nice place to be. It's a forgiving car to be in. You really can't complain. But if you want to play with it a little bit, couple buttons, go into the sport modes and manual mode. And then now we can have fun doing what this car is built for. It is so pinpointy. The suspension tightens up. The steering is just phenomenal. I love that tack. It is such a good responsive car. This is crazy how good this car is. I'm enjoying it. And the fact that it's actually pretty practical with that trunk space, with the seat space and storage in the back, this is a car that can kind of do it all. And I'm becoming a bigger and bigger fan of the 911s. I think they offer so much for the money, and you cannot go wrong with this car. It is an absolute blast to drive, a great place to be.